Let's not forget, Christians, what John reminds us about in that first letter of his that we heard from this morning. The commandments. Those who keep the commandments of Jesus remain in him. And please remember the commandments that John says will keep us remaining in him. Believe in the name of the Son, Jesus Christ. Commandment 1. Love one another as I have commanded you. Number 2. That's it. It's true. The church has reminded us of other commandments that are absolutely important and essential. But if they don't fulfill those two, or better, if my carrying out those other commandments that are all helpful and help me focus my life and keep me from being stupid in actions and behavior and attitude, if those commandments don't make me believe more deeply and love more honestly, then I'm not keeping them. Or perhaps I shouldn't keep them in the way that I've been told to. Now, in the same letter, John told you to test the Spirit, so just don't take what I say, kids. He who is in you is stronger than he who is in the world. So take everything you hear from any priest, as anybody else in the world. Lots of people have lots of opinions. Check in with the one who is in you. Make sure that what you're hearing is what he wants you to hear. I trust that will be true today, but who knows? You know. If I may paraphrase, and I think authentically, the proclamation of Jesus when he began preaching and teaching, as Matthew reminds us he does after his baptism, and he enters Galilee, fulfilling the prophecy of Isaiah. A light is shining in those who sit in darkness. Jesus is showing up. He's bringing the light of life to a land overshadowed by death. And this is what he proclaims, if I may paraphrase. Change your minds and turn around. For God's kingdom has come to earth right now. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. This is very much like John's proclamation, except John was saying, it's coming. So get your lives in order and be baptized to show that you mean business. This. Change your life. Change your mind. Because what was coming is now here. The kingdom is at your hand. That's true today, kids, not just 2,000 years ago. And we have to remember this every morning we wake up. Am I going to turn around and change my mind about Jesus today? Am I going to turn around and change my mind about that commandment to believe in him, trust in him, depend on him, look to him, hold on to him? Good grief, people, we hold on to a lot of stuff. And we depend on a lot of stuff that can be perfectly legitimate, but very distracting from holding on to him, from following him, for depending on him. Some of that stuff we've been deprived of these last 10 months. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a heads up. It's It's an invitation to change our minds and turn around in the way we think, in the way we behave, in the way we see people, in the way we see ourselves. It's been horrible, but it's a good thing, people, if we let it be. If we let it be that invitation that Jesus proclaims today. Change your mind, turn around. Because the kingdom is here. You're already living in the kingdom. If you are turning around and changing your mind about what I have come to say and do, about who I am, what I'm for in the world, what I'm up to in the world. This isn't easy, people. It's easier to go along with rules, commandments. Gotta have a scorecard and make sure we're doing everything that the church tells us to do. And that's not bad, absolutely not bad, but it's easier, I think, to look at our lives that way and to respond the way Jesus wants us to. There are things in my mind that I need to change. There are things in yours that you need to change your mind about. Every day, people, we get it, but we still don't really get it. If we ever get to a place where we think we got it, we know for sure we haven't. This is an ongoing invitation. Repent. The kingdom is in your hands right now. And how are we doing with that second command? How's Father doing with that second command? Love each other as I have commanded you. What was that command? Love each other as I love you. Oh, shoot. I mean, it's okay if I can choose the kind of love I'm going to give you. But that's not an option, apparently. I mean, the kind of love that I need to give you and everybody else is the kind of love that He gives me. He died for me. He got beat up for love of me. He got pierced, wounded, killed for love of me. How am I doing in turning that around for you? This is a lifetime project for us. Epiphany is when God is finally revealed to eyes that can see. Not that the shepherds didn't. Oh, yes, they did. Not that Our Lady didn't see. Oh, yes, she did. But if you read between the lines, you see the shepherds and Mary throughout the gospel still learning what it was, who it was that laid there in that manger, and what He was up to in their lives. I think Our Lady very painfully had to discover that she was immaculately conceived. That was what her Son was up to in her life. Born without that concupiscence that twists everything around. But how foreign she must have been. How confused she must have been to realize that she just doesn't get how other people are acting and thinking and responding. Because she never responded that way. She was an alien from the get-go. And I rather suspect discovered herself to be so as she was growing up. Alienation is not easy. But it set her up to say every minute of her life, let it be done to me according to your word. We got baptism from God to help us beyond that twisted ego. With the authority now to move beyond what ego requires and demands and expects. She was already there. But the struggle is the same. The struggle is the same. changing our minds and the way we live, in realizing every minute of our lives we're already facing the kingdom, have the opportunity to enter the kingdom. More Christian, to make the kingdom present here on earth. We're, through the mystery of this altar, are the flesh of God. And we've got the power to be out there doing what the flesh of God did, always does do. Serve, embrace, heal, reconcile, forgive, love, die for love's sake. We get to do that with this. That's keeping the commandments. That's being the Christian that we're given the power of heaven to be. Epiphany. Those three pagans saw with birthing faith who it was there. And I know they spent their whole lives trying to live that out, just like we need to. We are to be the epiphany of the one who is in the manger. Because we're now, this morning, again, his flesh, sent into the world for the sake of the